Well, hello and good evening. Uh, I'm Pastor Lawrence from Northern Bible Church, and I just wanted to give you a quick update. We did have a chance to meet as elders earlier this week. In fact, we met yesterday and finalized a few things today. And so I wanted to give you a quick update on what it is we talked about and what we decided. I want to first say thank you for your patience. Thank you for putting up with us during this difficult time. We're not able to meet all the time, and so thank you for being patient and waiting for us to be able to meet and be able to bring this information forward. We've consulted a number of different churches, a number of different organizations, guidelines, requirements, and the conclusion we've come to is as a church, we feel that we've been able to continue being the church in spite of this pandemic. But there are a number of our members that are hungry to be together. And really, that's the desire of every pastor, that our people would be hungry to meet together. And so I'm glad to announce that starting this Sunday, we will be resuming service. And I'll stop you there because while that is exciting, I do want you to know it's not going to look like it did before we gave up meeting for that short while. And I'll explain why. As a congregation, we feel our mission is to reach people, to help them grow, and to equip them for ministry. In fact, that's our vision statement, to reach, grow, and equip devoted followers of Jesus Christ. But we also have a commitment to our community and to one another, to make sacrifices for one another, even to lay down our lives for one another, or in this case, to lay down what we might perceive to be our rights, our own convictions for the sake of caring for our brothers and sisters. That's not to say we give up things that are of utmost importance. We don't lay down doctrine or those sorts of things. But in this case, we're setting out a number of precautions so that as we gather together, we're still caring for our brother, for our sister, and for our community. So we will start meeting this Sunday. If you haven't received it yet, you'll receive an email soon with more of this information. But if you're wondering, what will this Sunday look like? The first thing you'll notice is we'll have a few signs posted on the doors reminding people that if they are sick, they should really go home and join us for the live stream. As much as we want to be together, we don't want to risk getting people sick. And while that hasn't had a large impact on our community, we still want to honor those in authority over us. We want to honor those recommendations, those regulations that are put out there. And we want to serve our community by ensuring that we meet safely. So those signs will be there. We're also going to recommend not only that people wear masks, regardless of whether you think you're sick. As elders, we'll be wearing masks, and we recommend that those who come wear masks as well, not necessarily for your own health, but for the health of those gathering with us. We're also recommending that people apply hand sanitizer when they come in the building. That's not to say that you're bringing germs with you, but we're propping open as many doors as possible. The one that we don't feel we should is the outside door, if only to keep the bugs out. And so we're all probably going to be touching the same door handles. If we apply hand sanitizer, that mitigates that risk. And from there, we should be just fine. We're also letting you know that tables have been moved out of common areas like the fellowship hall. Chairs have been moved out of the fellowship hall. We won't be serving coffee or snacks. Really, we're trying to minimize as much person-to-person contact, which leads into the next point. We're also encouraging people to avoid handshakes, hugs, or other displays of affection, which I know we've missed people. The last thing we want to do is be in the same space as them and not be able to shake someone's hand or give them a hug, or as Paul put it, greeting one another with a holy kiss. But in order to make sure that we're not transmitting a disease or putting others at risk, what we're asking is that everyone be mindful of that. Make sure that while we're together, we maintain social distancing and keep one another safe. That's also why when you come in, you'll notice our sanctuary doesn't look the same. Our chairs have been spaced out and moved to try to maintain distance as much as possible. We're asking that you're mindful of where you sit, allowing other people to sit a good distance away. And there's one other part we need to mention, which is as churches have been told go ahead and meet, there are certain restrictions that we're asked to honor. And one of those is to not exceed 25% capacity. So in our regard, that means we've got about 75 people that can sit in our main sanctuary. We don't know how many people will come or how many people will feel safe returning so soon, but we might, if needed, extend overflow seating into the fellowship hall. And over the next few weeks, we'll be keeping an eye on that. If our numbers are high enough, we might add a second service. Just depends on what needs are presented. I'm also saying that we're trying to keep spaces set apart for where we'll be and where we won't be. In terms of places where we will be, whether that's the entryway, the fellowship hall, or into the sanctuary, those are going to be our main places. When we leave the sanctuary after the service, we'll likely be exiting through the side doors of that room, which there are two, to avoid being stuck or gathering in one close space. And one of the harder things, and this is hard for a number of those serving in our church, is through social distancing that puts a limit on some of the ministries we offer, which includes our ministry to children. Unfortunately, kids tend to be those that gather closest together and don't worry nearly as much about what germs they may or may not be spreading. And yeah, I know my kids are lumped in there as well. So what we're doing is we're not holding any specific ministries for kids. And so there won't be nursery, there won't be Sunday school, there won't be junior church, and Sunday school goes for adults as well. We're having Sunday service, and that's all while we're in the building, at least for now. As time goes on, we'll add those things back. We're also asking that families remain together throughout their time in the church building. And so whether it's bathroom breaks or going from one place to another, we're asking that you don't just let your kids run off, but you keep an eye on them and you keep them close to you, including sitting with you through the service. With that, as an added precaution, we're following the example of a number of other churches, and at least this Sunday, and maybe the next couple, we will not be having congregational singing. That's, from what we hear, one of the easiest ways to transmit the virus. And while we do hope people are wearing masks, we also know that there will be some people who likely won't be. And so that's one precaution we're taking. We do intend to add congregational singing back in stages as we go. Other than that, I think that covers just about everything. We do want to say, if you are eager to meet, we are glad to meet with you. If you are not so confident that now is the right time to meet, we also want to honor that conviction. And so if you don't feel comfortable for health reasons or because of your individual circumstance, because you or a loved one are more vulnerable, that's fine. We fully support you and encourage you to remain home, to join us through the live stream, to engage with people through a lot of our online resources that we have, whether that's through Bible studies, through those groups that meet online, or the sermon that we cast over the live stream. We also want to encourage you to engage with other people in as many ways as possible, whether that be through phone calls, messages, etc. This is not a point of contention. It's not anything that we're going to allow to be a point of division. For those who feel comfortable meeting, we're making a way to meet. For those who do not feel comfortable meeting, we're encouraging you, that's okay. This is a new thing. It is a difficulty, but we also understand it's temporary. And while we too long for the church to be together, we know that we don't cease to be the church, even in the midst of difficulty. And so Thank you. If you have any questions or concerns, please get in touch with me or someone else from the church. We do look forward to being together, to worshiping together, and doing so in a way that honors Christ and also shows our community and our congregation that we care. So thank you. I hope to see you all very soon, and may you have a blessed rest of your day.